Hello out there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lawrence Ross, and I'm weighing in on the current controversy that's been happening with two YouTubers, Gabbie Hanna and Trisha Paytas. Now, full disclosure, I have met Trisha Paytas twice. I have met Gabbie Hanna a total of 0 times. And before I get into my take, let me give you the facts as much as I can. I'm probably going to mess up some dates and stuff. I might not have all of the information, but if I don't, please let me know in the comment section because I would love to hear from you on this. Would love to. All right, so as much as I can gather, here's basically how this whole controversy got going. Back in 2017, Trisha started dating a guy named Jason Nash. And Jason, he was a part, or is probably still a part of, a group called the Vlog Squad. It's got David Dobrik and Jason Nash and some other people, I think. And so Gabbie was in there for a little bit of time, but I think she got kicked out. And from what I've heard is if you get kicked out of the Vlog Squad, you know you have had to have messed up pretty badly. That's just what I've heard. But what I heard was that supposedly Gabbie had told Jason... she had said something to the effect of, hey, look, Trisha has an incurable STD. Her claim was that Trisha had herpes, which is not the case at all. And there could be a couple problems stemming from that. I mean, from a privacy issue, it is none of her business if Trisha has something or if she doesn't. And people have said that if Trisha definitely had something, Trisha definitely would have said something about it by now. And from a medical standpoint, another thing to think about, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that Gabbie is in fact a doctor. That's a violation of HIPAA laws. You can't be saying that. There's a doctor-patient confidentiality. Get that one to you again. Doctor-patient confidentiality. Get it? Got it? Good. All right. So now, somewhere in 2017 or 2018, whenever this was, Trisha was asked to be a part of a project called Blood Queens. And there was somebody there who happened to know both Trisha and Gabbie Hanna. And I guess during conversation, this person had asked Trisha, hey, what do you think of Gabbie Hanna? And Trisha goes, I don't like her. I don't like her music. Well, I'm not sure she said I don't like her music, but I think it was just a simple, I don't like her. And that was it. So that was a whole controversy in and of itself, which I'm not going to get into because it's not necessarily, it's not that big of an issue. It's not relevant to this story. I mean, it was a pretty big issue back then, but it's not relevant to this story. So in November of 2019, this is when the chain of events happened that I remember. November of 2019, Gabbie Hanna goes on her Instagram, or wherever it was, and she basically rehashes what happened, but she doesn't mention Trisha at all. But people were able to piece it together. And when Trisha found out that Gabbie was talking about her indirectly, she just went off. And it was fucking awesome. I mean, the passion that Trisha has. I mean, say what you will about Trisha, but she is passionate. She's very passionate. You gotta respect her for it. I certainly do. So, yesterday Trisha made a video where I guess Gabbie went into some sort of tailspin on social media, and she was boo-hooing about, everyone's out to get me. Nobody wants to collaborate with me. And Trisha's whole argument was, well, Gabbie, that's because you treat people like crap. You've been known to make publicists cry. You've been a nightmare to work with on certain sets from what I've heard. Your music stinks. And you wonder why you're not going to get signed to any major labels. It's probably because of the way this Gabbie person carries herself. It's her character that's the problem. And I have a belief as to what was going through Gabbie's mind when she decided to bring this controversy on herself and not apologize for it. Not one iota. I've never heard Gabbie Hanna say, I'm sorry for causing this controversy. I'm sorry for that controversy. I've never heard her say that. Maybe she probably does say it, and maybe she purposefully edits it out of the video. I don't know. But my belief is that Gabbie has known that Trisha doesn't like her. And she feels, well, since Trisha's very vulnerable, she's been in a mental institution, I'm going to deliberately do something that's going to get her attention so that she can admonish me on social media. And then when I can't take the heat, I'll just drop a cease and desist, and then I'll just run in the other direction and act like nothing ever happened. And people have basically called her out on this. And as soon as Trisha dropped that video, everyone was talking about, everybody had a story about Gabbie. And none of them were good. None of them were good. Now, that old thing of Gabbie claiming Trisha has herpes, which she doesn't, that could fall under the umbrella of slander, libel, defamation of character. And if you are a public figure, you got to really watch your step in regards to what you say about someone, especially in these times, because people have been sued for much less. Believe it or not, people have been sued for much less. I lived in Florida where for 5 years there was an ongoing battle because one radio host, MJ Kelly, filed a lawsuit against Bubba the Love Sponge because his gripe was that this Bubba fellow and all of his on-air people were talking smack about him, and he didn't appreciate it. So he filed a defamation lawsuit. What was the defamatory comments that were made? Oh, just that MJ's short, he's got pubic hair on top of his head, and that he treats people horribly. And, well, when all was said and done, both guys ended up losing. Bubba lost an attorney, and MJ lost the case. But that's neither here nor there. That's for another day. I did a video about that a while back. It's called Florida Man Sues Radio Host. I'm not putting that in the description because it's not all that relevant, but I figure I'd mention it as a bit of an interesting case study to point out that, yes, some people have been sued for much less, but still, you cannot knowingly spread misinformation about a public figure over social media, the public airwaves, all that stuff, because it's immoral and it's not right. And I got a couple of other thoughts about Gabbie. I mean, I think this is my opinion. You know, when you're hanging out with someone and you often wonder where you dropped on your head as a kid, I think Gabbie is the kid who was dropped on her head. That is just my opinion, folks. I want that on record. My opinion, as a blind person, Gabbie was probably the kid who was dropped on her head. The other thing is that Trisha has said that Gabbie scares her. Well, Trisha's very right to think that, but in this case, Trisha has the disadvantage of sight because she has to look at Gabbie. That's right. That's right. I'm saying on record, I think Gabbie Hanna looks ugly. Because if she's ugly on the outside, if she's ugly on the inside, the way she treats people, she's probably ugly on the outside. And one more thing. Two more things here. Here's something that I'm a little concerned about. I mean, I heard about this YouTuber named Molly Burke, who, like me, is blind. She has a much bigger following than I do. Have a lot of respect for her. She's good at what she does. She has fun content. I saw that she did a collaboration with Gabbie, And that collaboration was several years ago, and I think it was only one time. So what I wonder is, if Gabbie treats regular people, able-bodied people, horribly, then how does she treat people like me? I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna gander that Gabbie is probably one of those people who, if she hangs out with a blind person, I don't know what this is called yet, but this has happened to me many times. I'll ask for something, or someone will try and orient me as to where something is, and rather than say, oh, it's on your right, or it's on your left, or it's diagonally, or whatever, I get this. I get the treatment of, oh, it's over there, and then they arbitrarily point to a spot. I don't know what they're doing, and I don't know what that's called, and I think that's very disrespectful to people like me, and I'm pretty sure Gabbie probably practices that and doesn't give it a second thought. That is just my opinion. And the big thing that really, really infuriated me about what Gabbie did, victim shaming. There's a YouTuber named Jessie Smiles, and a while back, she and Gabbie were friends, and one of Gabbie's friends, long story short, Jessie Smiles was the unfortunate victim of rape. There's no other way to put it. Jessie Smiles was unfortunately raped. And Gabbie's attitude, her mentality was, you weren't raped. And when Jessie talked about it on social media, Gabbie, her diagnosis was, this is sexual assault drama. Now, who in their right mind refers to an act as heinous as rape as sexual assault drama? I mean, seriously. That is extremely reprehensible. And I did a song about Gabbie about 6 months ago, and I'll post it in the description. Now, let me just say this right now. Having all this information, Gabbie is a YouTuber who I will never collaborate with. I know people say never, but in this case, I am not going to. I have no interest. The only people I want to collaborate with on YouTube are good people, damn it. And you can bet your sweet bippy that Trisha is definitely one of them. Because, folks, I've been racking my brain as to the time that I've spent with Trisha. In the 2 times we've met, I'll try and break it down for you as best I can. Our first interaction, when we met for the very first time, she asked me who I was. I introduced myself. I gave her a little business card with my information on it, my contact info. I did a little shtick for her. She was amused, and we took a picture. We had a great time. That was about a minute and a half or so. Let's just go with a minute and a half. And then, like 20-some minutes later, I was in another part of the building, and she came up to me, and the conversation picked up pretty much right where it left off. And we were hanging out, having a great time for about the next 3.5 minutes. So you got to figure a minute and a half plus the 3.5. That's about 5 minutes or so, give or take. And then during the show in Denver, they did the Q&A, and I was the last participant in the Q&A, and she noticed me, and she gave me a fine little, hey, how do you do from the stage? She gave me a little plug from my Twitter account. And she also pointed out that I was very good at impersonations. And so that was that. But I'm talking about but I'm adding up all the time that we had like one-on-one per se. So when she came by in Kansas, went to see her, and met up. She called my name. She's like, Lawrence, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing great, Trisha. And we went for the hug, and we talked for like a minute, minute and a half, or I don't know, maybe it was 2, 3 minutes. I don't know. But it was it was a little window of opportunity. So I'm at like 6.5 minutes. Okay, actually, nah, yeah, let's just go with 6.5 minutes. And then I was chatting with her mom for a little bit. Had a great chat with her, and then everyone else cleared out basically, and it was just me, Trisha, and her mom. And so basically, as I said, I'm focusing on the time of just me and Trisha, just together, like a one-on-one kind of a situation. And we hung out for about the next 22 minutes, I'd say. So I figure I've spent about 28 and a half minutes hanging out with Trisha. And as I've said before, she has my contact information. She said in the first video of us hanging out that she would follow me on Twitter. She does. And I have messaged her a few times here and there. Not every day. Don't want to be like that guy. And have I gotten a response? No. Am I expecting a response? No. You know why? Because I respect people's privacy. I understand that she's busy. She's doing a lot of things. She's got her OnlyFans. She's got her podcast. She's got her YouTube channels. You know, she's a very busy woman. And God bless her for that. You know, you got to do what you got to do in today's society. And I'm going to close with the declaration that I've made time and time again. If you are watching this, Trisha, if by any chance that you are watching this, just know that you are always welcome on my radio program. And that olive branch will always be extended to you, and it will never be revoked. I'm Lawrence Ross. Thanks for watching. Hope you like what you saw.